Hey there, Saginaw Color Guard. So we are going to talk about some flag terminology really quick. Now that you have your flags at home and you're able to practice, it's important that you start to become accustomed to how the flag feels in your hands, the way that it rotates. So this video is going to kind of help you understand just a few things about your flag and what you need to do in order to be successful as a member of the Color Guard. So before we get started, let's talk about what the flag is, how it's weighted, the way that it works, and all of the different parts of it and what we're going to call each part. Okay, so working our way down, we call this the top tip of your flag. All right, obviously the flag part here, this will be referred to as your silk. And if you feel inside of your flag, it should have, and if it doesn't, we need to get that fixed for you, but there are two, what we like to call cheater tapes, all right? There's the top cheater in the silk, and then the bottom cheater in the silk. And then right here where the flag, the silk meets the pole, we're gonna call this the tab. So a lot of times we'll refer to the tab as a location of your flag of where you're gonna put your hand, where it's gonna be in relationship to your body, etc. So top tip, top cheater, bottom cheater, tab, and silk. So that's the top half of your flag, all right? Now we have the bottom half of your flag. Obviously, we're gonna refer to this as the pole. Coming down from the tab, we have the top cheater tape, your bottom cheater tape, and the bottom tip. So these are all referred to the same, whether it's at the top of the pole or the bottom of the pole. Typically, we'll differentiate the two different terminologies using the silk. The top cheater in the silk, the top cheater on the pole, the bottom cheater on the pole, etc. So when we start to talk about fundamentals in choreography, we'll say take your right hand and put it splitting the cheater tapes, all right? That means it's gonna go directly between the two cheater tapes, or we'll say your right hand goes on the bottom cheater. So that way all of the members have their hand in the same location on the pole, so all of the choreography looks the same. All right, so the actual mechanics and working of the flag. There are weights hidden inside of the flag on each end. We use bolts that are going to help get the flag rotation. Color guard is just like physics, okay? We take the top of the flag, which is naturally heavier because of the silk, and we add a larger bolt to the top. And in the bottom of the flag, we have a smaller bolt. So the top of the flag is quite a bit heavier than the bottom of the flag. And that is because of the physics of the flag. When we go to do our tosses, it helps it bring it back down into our hands and gives it that additional rotation. If you think about taking, for instance, the things that you have in your house, a broom, and if you throw a broom into the air, it goes up and then it rotates really quickly in the air because of the weight of the broom. The bristles of the broom help it to come around. Or if you think about taking a yo-yo, or if there's a ball on a string and you can kind of swing it around and then you throw it into the air, the weight helps it go up in order to bring it back down. The same principles apply with our color guard choreography and our color guard equipment. And all pieces of color guard equipment are related that way, okay? So now before we get into the actual technical fundamental exercises, let's just talk a little bit about holding the equipment and how it's going to be in our hands, okay? So we're gonna talk a lot about going to a flat position, all right? This is a standard position where we will start our fundamentals. When we're standing at attention, we may ask you to go to a flat. This is just a standard uniform position where we can all look the same and execute things properly. So at our flat position, this is a right flat because the flag is on the right side of your body. You're gonna take your right hand and it's gonna go underneath the pole right at the tab. Your left hand is going to cover the butt of the flag. Make sure when you hold, there's not a little bit of extra showing, okay? Or you're not holding all the way to the end where there's extra space between the pole and your hand, but it's just going right to the edge of your hand to cover the bottom, okay? Posture is another really important element that we're gonna talk a lot about in color guard, all right? Right now I'm standing in a strong second position. We're gonna talk a lot about feet positions when we start to break down our dance choreography, and our dance fundamentals as well as our body training portion. But for right now, when you look at your feet in a second position, they should be shoulder width apart. Your toes should be facing outwards at 45-degree angles away from the center of your body, okay? So now, in relationship to your body, you're gonna take the pole, and it's going to be right where your belt buckle would sit if you had your pants on, sitting right above the hip, okay? Not up here at your waist, all right? Not low, but right here at the top of your waist, right where your belt buckle would sit, and you wanna make sure that the center of the pole matches up where your belt buckle would be, okay? Next, you're gonna notice my arms. My arms are in a boxed out position, and what that means is if you notice the left arm, there is a square shape that happens, and it's a strong boxed out position, instead of having the arms in as more of a weak position. So, to break things down from the bottom up, now we have our feet in a second position, heels shoulder width apart, feet facing outward at 45-degree angles, okay? Equipment is in the center of our waist, right where our belt buckle would sit, with the center of the pole splitting the two tapes at our belt buckle. My right hand is under, palm up. My left hand is over, palm down, and my elbows are boxed out. Let's talk about the upper body next. Your sternum is a very, very important element to projecting good posture when it comes to performing color guard. So your sternum is the bone that lives right between your rib cage, and if you think about lifting that sternum and separating your rib cage from your pelvis to make yourself 2 inches taller, that's the projection and that's the posture that we need you to have in order for everybody to A, look the same, and B, project your energy all the way up to the press box when we start to perform in a stadium. So that's our torso posture. Moving upwards to the neck and shoulders. Neck and shoulders are incredibly important when it comes to posture and color guard. Your shoulders want to be in a pressed down position, so they're not high, but they're pressed down. Your neck is elongated to create as long of line as possible, and your chin is projected up. So I always like to refer to the chin, if you have a little laser beam on your chin, it would be shooting upwards. Imagine yourself standing on the 50-yard line in the stadium. And the press box is the little box that sits at the very top of the stadium where the judges sit in marching band terms, or where the coaches sit in terms of football. You want to think about shooting a laser beam all the way up to the top of that press box, okay? And then your eyes are projected up to the press box as well. All right, so that kind of breaks down our posture and our body position in the terms of holding our equipment at a right flat, okay? From here, we go up to what we call a right shoulder, all right? Right shoulder, we take the flag into the center of the body, meaning that the pole matches all of the things through your center. Your nose, your mouth, your chin, your sternum, your belly button, all of the things that are in the center of your body you want to line the pole up with, all right? Notice also my elbows are still in a boxed out position, okay? And the flag is centered right here in my body. I'm not holding it too high and I'm not holding it too low, but a good point of reference is taking that left hand and putting it right in front of where your belt buckle is, okay? So going from our right flat to our right shoulder, all of the same principles apply. Elbows are boxed out, flag is in the center, our left hand is now at our belt buckle, and we are still lifting through the sternum, pressing down the shoulders, and projecting our posture, our energy, and our focus all the way to the top of the press box. Okay, so that's our very basic breakdown of what the flag is, how we're going to hold it, and all of those different things in order to be successful. In our next video, we're going to start diving into the fundamental portions and how the actual mechanics of making the flag go around are going to be executed. Good job.